Hello students, today we are going to start with the sampling theorem. Sampling theorem is also called as the Nyquist theorem. Uh, uh, this theory is sufficiently related to the sample rate in terms of the bandwidth for the class of functions that are band limited. The sampling theorem states that the signal can be exactly reproduced or recovered if it is sampled at the rate fs, which is greater than the twice of maximum frequency w. That is, sampling frequency should be greater than or equal to 2w. That is the maximum frequency, twice of the maximum frequency. To understand this sampling theorem, let us consider this figure whose value is non-zero between the minus w to the w, and beyond the minus w to the w it is 0. So such signal is represented as a x of f is equal to 0 for mod of f is greater than w. That is, beyond the minus w to the w, its value is 0. For a continuous time signal x of t, the band limited signal in frequency domain can be represented in the figure. So we need the sampling frequency. Sampling frequency at which there should be no loss of information even after the sampling. For this we have to use the Nyquist rate, that is the sampling frequency should be 2 times the maximum frequency, that is fs is greater than or equal to twice of the maximum frequency. It is critical rate of the sampling, so we can call it as a critical rate of the sampling. If the x of t is sampled above the Nyquist rate, then and then only we can recover the original signal. But if the rate is below the Nyquist rate, then the original signal cannot be recovered uh, at the receiver side. So this figure shows if the sampled at the higher rate, that is the twice of the 2w in the frequency domain, so you will get the original signal. And this signal is shows the Fourier transform of excess of t. The information is reproduced without any loss, so there is a no overlapping of the signals. So there is a no maximum up, and hence recovery is possible. The Fourier transform of x of t is equal to 1 by t summation of minus infinity to infinity x of omega minus n omega, where ts is the sampling period and w0 is the 2 pi or fundamental frequency 2 pi by ts. So let us see if the sampling rate is equal to the twice of the highest frequency 2w. So that is, fs is greater equal to 2w. So you will get the original sequence. So that is, the fs is equal to sampling frequency and w is the highest frequency. So there is a no loss and we can recover the original signal, right? So in this first figure we will get the original signal recovered because it follows the or fulfills the Nyquist criteria. But if your sampling frequency is less than twice of w, then the signal will be overlapped each other. You can see in the second figure. So you can observe this figure, that is overlapping is done. So which is nothing but the loss of information, and this is the unwanted phenomena of overlapping, which is called as a aliasing. So let us check the terms aliasing. Aliasing can be referred as a phenomenon of high frequency component in the spectrum of the signal taking on the identity of low frequency component in the spectrum of its sampled version. The corrective measures taken to reduce the effect of aliasing are: in the transmitter section, the TCM, that is a low pass anti-aliasing filter, is employed before the sampler and eliminate the high frequency component which are unwanted. And the signal which is sampled after the filtering is sampled at the rate slightly higher than the Nyquist rate, that is fs is greater than or equal to twice of 2w. And this choice of having the sampling rate higher than the Nyquist rate also helps in the easier design of reconstruction filter at the receiver. So in case of the PCM, there is a low pass anti-aliasing filter. Its component is used before the sampler to eliminate the high frequency component, and as well as at the reconstruction or at the receiver side, the sampling rate is slightly higher than the Nyquist rate. So the our signal is sampled at the slightly higher than the Nyquist rate. So we can easily design the reconstruction filter, and there is a no aliasing can be done, and our original signal can be recovered back. So this effect, that is the overlapping of the signal, that is high frequency components overlapped on the low frequency component spectrum. So that is nothing but the aliasing. So this aliasing can be removed by using the low pass anti-aliasing filter at the PCM transmitter section, and at the receiver the signal is sampled slightly at the higher rate of the Nyquist rate, and by using these criteria we can reconstruct the filter very easily at the receiver side, as well as we can reconstruct the signal. Next, one of the major important parameter is the quantization. The quantization is nothing but the rounding of the signal, and it is used before the A to D conversion, or in this is the main block of the A to D conversion. The digitization of the analog signal involves the rounding of the value which are approximately equal to the among the values. The method of sampling chosen a few points on the analog signal, and then these points are joined to the round up to the value near the stabilized value. Such process is called as a quantization. Suppose this analog signal is fed to the sample and hold circuit, so you will get the different digitized level or discrete levels, and that discrete level is fed to the quantization. Quantizer gives you the approximate value of that different levels. So that approximate value can be fed to the then A to D converter for the digitization of the signal. So that is nothing but the process of quantization. The analog to digital converts perform this type of the function, creates the series of the digital values out of given analog signal, and this the next figure is represent this quantizing. Suppose the blue line indicates the your original signal, and the staircase waveform is nothing but the quantized signal. The quantizing of the analog signal is done by discretizing the signal with the number of quantization label. The quantization is representing the sampled values of the amplitude by the finite set of the labels, which means converting a continuous amplitude into the discrete time signal. The following this figure shows that an analog signal gets quantized. So this is the original signal indicated in the blue line, and the red staircase signal is nothing but the quantized signal. The both sampling and quantization results in the loss of information. The quality of the quantizer, of course, or quantizer output depends upon the number of quantization levels used. The discrete amplitude of the quantized output are also called as representation level or reconstruction level. The spacing between the two adjacent levels, so this is the spacing between the two adjacent levels, is called as a quantum or step size. So step size is nothing but the spacing between the two levels. This figure shows the resultant quantized signal, which is a digital form from the given analog signal. So there are two type of the quantization, that is a mid-rise type of the quantization and mid-rate type of the quantization. So these are the two form of the quantization. There are two types of the quantization, that is uniform quantization and non-uniform quantization basically. The type of the quantization in which the quantization level are uniformly spaced or the step size are fixed, so we can call it as a uniform quantization. In uniform quantization the step size is fixed. The type of the quantization in which the quantization levels are unequal, and mostly the relation between them is a logarithmic relation, is termed as a non-uniform quantization. So the non-uniform quantization, the step size changes with respect to the signal, but in uniform quantization the step size remains same. So there are two type of the uniform quantization basically, that is a mid-rise type and mid-rate type. So first figure is shows as a mid-rise type, and second figure is shows as a mid-rate type. In mid-rise type, it's called as a because the origin lies in the middle. So in this case, the origin lies in the middle of the rising part of the staircase, like the graph, like graph. The quantization levels in this are the even number, even in the number. But in case of the mid thread, so this is the mid thread. Mid-thread type is called because the origin lies in the middle of the thread of the staircase, like graph. So the quantization levels in this type are the odd in number. So mid-rise, the quantization levels are even number, and mid-thread, the quantization levels are odd number. So both mid-rise and mid-thread type of the quantizer are symmetric about the origin. Next, what is meant by the quantization errors? For any system during its functioning, there is always difference in the values of its input and output. The processing of the system results in the error, which is the difference of these values. So the difference between the input value and its quantized value is called as a quantization error. So if you consider the original signal and its quantized signal, the difference between these two levels, that is the blue lines and red lines, that is nothing but the quantization error. The quantizer is a logarithmic function that performs the quantization rounding of the value, and analog to digital converter works as a quantizer. The figure illustrates as an example of the quantizer error, indicating the difference between this figure indicating the difference between the original signal and quantized signal. So this is nothing but the quantization error. Next, quantization noise. It is the type of the quantization error which usually occurs in the analog audio signal while quantizing it to the digital. For example, in music, the signal keeps changing continuously, where a regularity is not found in the error. Such error create the wideband noise called as a quantization noise. So the second figure is indicated as a quantization noise. Next, the first is the pulse code modulation, or we can call it as a PCM. So before going to the PCM, we should know the what is meant by the modulation. Modulation is process of varying one or more parameters of carrier signal in accordance with the instantaneous values of the message signal. Suppose this is your message signal, and the modulation process, the some parameter or one or more parameter of the carrier signal changes according to its original or instantaneous value of the message signal. The message signal is the signal which is being transmitted for the communication, and carrier is the high frequency signal which has no data but is used for the long distance transmission. So message signal is the transmitted signal which is transmitted from the sender to the receiver, and carrier signal is a high frequency signal but which has no data, and but it is used for the long distance communication. So there are many modulation techniques which are classified according to their type of the modulation employed, and one of the technique is the PCM, that is a pulse code modulation. So in this figure, you can check the sine wave as the input and the PCM is the output. PCM, a signal pulse code modulated to convert its analog information into the binary sequence, that is ones and zeros. The output of PCM is resemble a binary sequence, and the figure shows this figure shows that an example of the PCM when the sine wave as an input. The output will be the PCM, which is in the form of ones and zeros. Instead of the pulse stream, PCM produces a series of number or digits, and hence it is this process is called as a digital. Each one of these digits, though in binary code, represents the approximate amplitude of the signal sampled at the instant. In pulse code modulation, the message signal is represented by the sequence of the coded pulses, and the message is achieved by the representing the signal in discrete form in both time and amplitude. So this is the basic block diagram of the PCM, that is pulse code modulation. The upper part is called as the transmitter part, and lower part of the diagram is called as the receiver part, and the middle part is nothing but the channel. So transmitter section of the PCM consists of the sampling, quantizing, encoding, which are performed in analog to digital converter section, and the low pass filter is prior to sampling prevents the aliasing of the message signal. The basic operation of the receiver sections are regeneration of the impaired or your original signals, decoding and reconstruction of the quantized pulse stream. So this is the following figure, block diagram of the PCM, which represents the basic elements of the both transmitter and receiver section. So this is the analog message signal is fed to the LPF. After LPF, that is, it is fed to the sample and hold circuit. So where we get the sampling of the signal. Next, it is fed to the quantizer where the signal rounding of can be done. Again, it is fed to the encoder where the encoding can be done, and then signal is processed through the channel for the communication. Uh, Channel, if there is a long distance, so you will regenerative repeaters can be inserted. Again, the regeneration circuit at the receiver side, after it is fed to the decoder, after it is fed to the reconstruction filter, and the destination where the original signal can be recovered back. Next, low pass filter, that is this is the filter eliminates the high frequency component present in the input analog signal, which is greater than the highest frequency of the message signal to avoid the aliasing of the message signal. So LPF attenuates the high frequency component and passes the low frequency component so that the aliasing effect can be avoided. Next, second block is the sampler where the your analog signal is converted into the staircase or sampled in the staircase waveform. So the sampling rate here, the sampling rate is greater than the twice of the highest frequency component W in accordance with the sampling theorem, so that the original signal can be recovered back at the receiver side. After the sampling and hold circuit, the signal is fed to the quantizer, that is the third block. The quantization is nothing but the rounding off of the signal or confining the data. The sampled output which is given to the quantizer reduces the redundant bit and compresses the value. Next, it is fed to the encoder. The digitization of the analog signal is done by the encoder. It designates each quantized level by the binary code, and the sampling done here, that is the sample and hold process. In the three section of the LPF, sampler and quantizer will act as an analog to digital converter, and encoding maximizes the bandwidth used. Next, regenerative repeater. So the output of the channel also has one regenerative repeater circuit to compensate the signal loss and reconstruct the signal, and also increase the strength of the signal, because the signal travels from the transmitter to the receiver and passes through the different components as well as via the long distance communication. So the signal strength should be the increase, and can be signal strength can be increased by the regenerative repeater. Next, it is fed to the decoder. The decoder circuit decodes the pulse coded waveform and reproduces the original signal. Next one, the reconstruction filter. This is the digital to analog conversion is done in by the regenerative circuit, decoder and LPF, and it is called as a reconstruction filter, so that we will get the original signal. Hence, the pulse code modulator circuit digitizes the given analog signal, codes it and samples it, and then transmit to the analog form, and the whole process is repeated in the reverse pattern to obtain the original signal. Next, there are two type of the compounding in the PCM. The word compounding is nothing but the combination of the compressing and expanding, which means that it does both. In this is a non-linear technique used in the PCM, which compresses the data at the transmitter and expands the same data at the receiver. The effect of the noise and crosstalk are reduced by using this technique, and there are two type of the compounding, that is A law compounding and mu law compounding. So in case of the A law compounding, the uniform quantization is achieved at A is equal to 1, where the characteristic curve is linear and no compression is done. A law has mid-rise at the origin and it contains non-zero value. A law compounding is used for the PCM telephone system. So A law compounding is used in the PCM telephone system. Mu law is achieved at mu is equal to 0. So, characteristic is linear, no compression is done. Mu law has mid-trade at the origin. Mid-trade at origin contains the zero value, and mu law compounding is used for the speech and music signals, but A law is used for the PCM telephone system. Mu law is used in the North America and Japan also. So up to this, we will study the detail of the compounding as well as the different modulation scheme in the next lecture. Thank you.